How's everybody doing? I hope you're good. And I want to talk about interracial dating. I want to talk about the act of dating people not from your race, not the same skin color, not the same culture and tribe or whatever it is. And the reality is, the first and foremost thing I want people to always understand is that, look, you have a right to be in a relationship with whoever you choose to be in a relationship with. If you're a white guy, you've got a right to be in a relationship with a white woman. You got a right to be in a relationship with a black woman. You got a right to be in a relationship with a Indian woman, to be in a relationship with a Japanese woman, to be in a relationship with a Chinese woman, to be in a relationship with a Russian woman, to be in a relationship with a Moroccan woman. You've got a right to be in a relationship with any woman you so choose. You have to understand that yes, some people believe that being with somebody who's from their own culture means that they will have less misunderstandings and will understand each other better and will have share common values, attitudes, and beliefs. But listen, guys, if an Indian girl shares closer understanding of your viewpoint of the world and is able to gel with you better than a black girl in your country, in Zambia, Gambia, South Africa, Tanzania, Namibia, or you are in the US and you find that an Ethiopian girl is much better suited to you, you should pursue that, because at the end of the day, you only live one life. And that life's consequences, the minute you become an adult, the minute you're over 18 and you're a man, you are responsible for all the things that happen in your life. You're responsible for the consequences thereof of decisions made by you. If you decide to marry a woman from your own grouping and it becomes a disaster, and the only reason you chose her was because you were being told you should marry a white woman as a white man or an Indian as an Indian man, when in fact you would have preferred and in fact had found somebody who was better, who you preferred, who was a different grouping, that consequence is yours to bear because you chose to listen to them. Because I want you to understand something, guys. The minute you're 18, the minute you're an adult, you are responsible for your decisions. And no man, not your father, not your uncles, they can give you advice and give you their opinion about what they think about something, but they cannot dictate to a man. You're a man. You're a grown man now. You're responsible for the family that you lead. You cannot take you and say, well, my father said I shouldn't marry this girl. I can listen to my father's opinion about why he doesn't think I should marry that girl, but I'm not going to say my father said this girl is better. No, no, no. I will listen to my father's opinion. I will think about it. I will analyze it, and I will come to my own conclusions. In fact, as a man, you've got to be willing to stand on your own too. You've got to even be willing to go to the extent of saying, you know what, I'm going to be disowned. If these people don't want to deal with the fact that I'm a white South African dating a black girl and they want to disown me, keep your farm. I don't want it. I have chosen a path and you will respect my path. Even if this relationship falls apart and ends up bad, it's not going to be because she was black. It's most likely because we were generally incompatible, in the same way that if I were to choose a white girl as you recommended and that falls apart, it isn't because she's a white girl, it's because she is who she is, and those differences are what cause the divorce or cause us to break apart. It is not her skin color. And unfortunately, there's so many people in the world who still believe this weird ideal that your own skin color is best for you. I unfortunately have no belief in such a system, and I think it is absolutely a social construct and not a real construct. It's not a physical entity construct. It's not decided by nature. It's decided by ignorance. It's people who are afraid of others different from themselves, and because they don't make an effort to learn about others different from themselves, they consider others different from themselves mysterious, weird, and dangerous. When in fact, look, an Ethiopian girl is not dangerous, okay? An Indian girl is not dangerous. A white girl is not dangerous. They are simply women. They are more similar than you can imagine. I mean, I've dated white women, black women, Indian women. I can tell you that, look, the differences between women are not that there's a fundamental difference between Indian women and white women, other than those that are created by the cultural context. Oh, we don't speak back, or we don't fight with our men in public, or those are not biological differences. Those are behavioral differences based on where you grow up. That's why an Indian girl from the UK or from the US or Canada is not the same thing as an Indian girl in India from a, let's say, a middle class upbringing. They're just very different because of where they grew up and the cultural entity or the cultural space that makes them who they are. So you've got to understand that you can definitely gel with a girl from a different background other than yours. You can definitely gel with a girl from a different country, because it's not even just about, a lot of people think this is all about black, white and stuff like that. I can guarantee you amongst black people, amongst white people, there's even subdivisions in that. There are Namibians who don't want to date people from other tribes. Don't date girls from that tribe, or Botswanans or South Africans. It's the same thing in Morocco. It's the same thing in the UK. There are white people who say, don't date those people. And they're talking about other white people because they're different from us like this. We're Catholics and they're Protestants or whatever it is. There are differences within each group. That's why the decision becomes fundamentally yours to make, to say, I choose this person as the one that is for me, the one I'll have children with, the one that I will grow with. That's my choice, and you have that choice. Let nobody take it from you. But speaking about that, you have to realize there will be pressure. There will be people who will show up and try to change your opinion about what you've decided to do, or tell you that you are wrong because that person's from somewhere else, who's a different skin color. You know, all those people are like this or like that. Interracial dating, unlike other normal dating, requires you to be more certain of why you're doing something and to be willing to stand for your partner. If you're a white girl dating a black guy in an area where they don't think you should be dating those people, you as a white girl have to be able to stand up for your man and tell them, back up, it's my choice, do not interfere, thank you for your opinion, get out of my face. You have to be willing to defend your partner. If you're Japanese, a Japanese man or a Japanese woman, guess what? Japanese man, grow some balls. Stop talking about all that warrior spirit when it comes to samurais and all that other stuff. But the minute it comes to you're dating a white girl or Indonesian girl and your homies in Japan say something, you show yourself to be nothing but a weak ass simp. Instead of standing up and saying, you know what? I, as a man from a samurai nation, have got the balls to stand for my decision, and I choose to date a girl from Hawaii. And if you've got a problem, that's your problem. You want to disown me, never talk to me again, good luck, Godspeed, and have a good life. Because even if I chose a Japanese girl, it's not like you come over to my house every weekend or be hooking me up with opportunities to make millions of yen. Come on. So get out of my face. I don't need your opinion in my life. If it's useful, I'll take it. If it's not, please stop talking, right? You've got to be prepared. You've got to be prepared in any grouping, whether you're in South Africa, Australia, Russia, China, India, or the US, to defend your decision to date somebody from a different racial group or to date somebody that is out of your culture, because it's your life at the end of the day. Defend your choices. Do not allow people to bully you by, I won't talk to you anymore, or I'll write you out of the inheritance. Well, Dad, thank you so much. I understand how you feel, and I understand why you're emotional and about this issue, and you can write me out of the will, but I'm thankful that I got an education. I'm thankful that I'm a strong person. I'm decisive, and just like you, Dad, I am a person who knows what I want, and I'm willing to work to the bone to get what I want and to defend it. So it doesn't matter whether you write me out of the will or not. I'm going to earn my own money. I'm my own man. I don't need your money. I will earn my own money. You earned your money. Why can't I earn it too? You honestly think about the fact that you're my father, I'm your son. Wonderful. I respect that and I value you. But if you could make your fortune from nothing, and I am your son, I am like you, why can't I make my own fortune? Obviously I can. And if you think you're going to write me out of your will, I don't have a problem. Keep your money, because I want to be my own man, and I'm happy to earn money for myself and earn the ability to lead and manage my own family and look after my own children without another man's cup to fill up my own. So there's a lot of things you will have to defend and fight for if you get involved with somebody from another race. And if the relationship fails, I can guarantee you everybody's going to point to the fact that you came from different places, rather than the fact that, listen, even if I chose somebody from my own group, this relationship could have also still fallen apart. It's about individual differences, not racial differences or group differences that relationship failed. So I cannot sit around or stand around and be saying, well, the reason it failed is because she was black or because she was white. No, it failed because she was incompatible, or she and I had fundamental differences that we couldn't solve. That's why it fell apart. You have to understand those things. But at the same time, you've also got to understand that interracial dating, that you got to understand, why is this person experimenting just to see what people from other races are like? Because you get those kind of women out there, especially for guys. You get girls who just are curious about other races and want to experiment and taste what something else is. But in the end of the day, they're still going to marry a guy from their own grouping because they really don't have well, they're not women, so I can't say they don't have the balls, but they haven't got the level of courage to actually stand up and choose a man from a different grouping. They don't mind dating them and experiencing them, but at the end of the day, they're going to run back to the safety of what they know. So you've got to take that into consideration when you're making big plans for your life with a woman from a different racial group or from a different cultural group, because that can happen, that people are just experimenting. There are guys who will date every group, but when it comes to marriage, they marry their own. This is seen amongst Indians, it's seen amongst several groups that this happens. They will date all the other girls, and then when it's time to get married, they marry somebody from their own grouping. They will date all the other guys, and when it's time to get married, they marry somebody from their own grouping. You don't want that kind of interracial unless it's simply you just want to have fun. Okay, then it's okay. But if you're looking for a serious relationship, be mindful. That's what some people are doing. They just want to know what it's like to date a Muslim guy. They don't really want to marry a Muslim guy or make a future with a Muslim guy. They just want to know what it's like and be able to say, I'm a great liberal. I believe in everybody. There are people like that, unfortunately. So you have to be aware and mindful of that. But at the same time, like I said earlier, you need to be sure of yourself and what you're doing. And you also need to understand this. We're human beings, and you have a right to find happiness. And if your happiness is in somebody who doesn't look like the people around you, or comes from a country different than the people you grew up with or around you, go ahead and get your happiness. Your life is your life, and nobody has the right to tell you how to live it, because end of the day, they ain't gonna deal with the consequences of the decisions they force you to take. End of the day, when you die, it's not going to be about, oh, well, I'm so glad I did what my mother said. I'm so glad I did what my grandmother said. It's going to be, I'm so glad I made the choices I made. I'm so glad I had this fantastic wife. I'm so glad I had these fantastic children. I'm so glad I was able to live the life I lived. That is what you want. Not to be, oh, I'm so sad that I couldn't marry or be with my Indian girl because I listened to my grandmother, or I listened to my father, or I'm so sad that I didn't stay with the black guy because my dad told me that all these blacks are thieves. End of the day, you'll be miserable and happy. You repress your emotions. You'll be sad and all in between. And more likely, you will end up in a divorce or end up in a marriage that is sad and unhappy and really not pleasant to be in. And that's not somewhere you want to be. Choose who you desire. Choose who you feel is right for you, and let everybody else do that for themselves. They may have opinions, listen to them, take in their wisdom, but don't act based on what they want you to do. Do what you want to do. Choose the one that's for you. And of course, in knowing how to choose the one, you've obviously have listened to my other videos and the videos of many other red pill coaches and individuals out there, and you've come to a conclusion as to how to choose somebody who's for you. So I hope you've done that. But if you're dating interracially, people from different racial groups, etc., it's okay, it's normal. Don't listen to other people and their bigotry, their racism. Ignore them. Let them live their own lives. They've got no business telling you how to live yours. Until next time, guys, do more, be more, become more on your purpose.